So the other week, I made a video discussing what I think we could expect to see from Xbox's E3 showcase. And since then, we don't really have much new information outside of one key detail and a few juicy rumors. We've got details that the Xbox E3 showcase will actually be called the Xbox and Bethesda showcase. And actually, that's something I already got wrong from my last video. I thought that they would split them up and do two different shows, but it looks like they're combining them right off the bat and doing the Xbox and Bethesda showcase, which we can expect to have a runtime of 90 minutes. A showcase that will give us an idea of what to expect in both the near and distant future for Xbox's first-party lineup of studios. And while we're on the subject of Xbox's first-party studios, it seems like their number of their first-party studios is going to be jumping from 23 to 26. I will be discussing all of this, as well as a revision of my predictions for what I think we can expect to see from both Xbox and Bethesda at this year's E3. So, let's get into it. So I think I'll start with the rumors swirling about possible studio acquisitions for Xbox. Over the last 3 years, we've seen Xbox begin to grow their stable of first-party studios, bolstering their lineup to a completely insane 23 first-party studios, which is already a shit ton of studios. But it seems like they have no plans to stop there, as some notable people across the Xbox community have hinted at more acquisitions announced at E3 this weekend. Now, I'm not too sure if I believe this, but then again, these people almost certainly know more than I do when it comes to this stuff. What's being thrown around as of late is a possibility of 3 studio acquisition announcements. Now, I have absolutely no idea who Xbox could be acquiring if this is true. I know the only studio I'd really love to see as a first-party Xbox studio that they don't already have is Techland, but time will tell if this rumor turns out to be true. Now, on to my predictions for Xbox and Bethesda at E3. Some things may have changed since my original video. Some things I was predicting I am no longer predicting, and some things I wasn't expecting at all have come into my list of predictions. So let's get right into this. First up, I think I'll start with the 3 most obvious predictions for the showcase. The trinity of Halo, Starfield, and Forza Horizon 5. I mean, we already know that Halo will be there. That's 110% guaranteed. We know. And Starfield and Forza Horizon 5 presentations are just poorly kept secrets at this point. Hell, I'd even throw in Psychonauts 2 into the obvious category. But what does that leave us with to expect from this showcase? Well, in my last video, I stated that I thought we'd see Wolfenstein 3 showed off at the showcase, and now I'm not so sure. Again, I need to state that I'm no industry insider at all. I'm just a dude with a small YouTube channel, but I have a theory for this, and I think it's a good one, so bear with me here. We know that after the release of Wolfenstein 2 back in 2017, it's a safe bet that Machine Games got to work on their next project, along with co-developing Wolfenstein Youngblood with Arcane Studios. Now here's where my theory goes a bit crazy, so stick with me on this. We know that Machine Games is currently working on creating an Indiana Jones game. What if, and this is a huge if, what if they have been working on this game since 2018? I mean, depending on the scale of the game, maybe it's a 12 to 15 hour AAA story game, which is about the standard. Well, then I wouldn't be surprised if it released late next year. Now, obviously, COVID has affected development, and I'm not a game developer by any means, so maybe I'm way off. But this is just a theory I have. I've got a feeling that we don't see Wolfenstein 3, and I've got a feeling that they showed us that Indiana Jones tease earlier this year for a reason. Why on earth would they tease us with that if we weren't going to see more details on it anytime soon? I mean, maybe I'm connecting dots that don't need to be connected, but it's my theory. And I think it'd be a big surprise for a lot of people to see Indiana Jones pop up at the showcase. And that takes care of my Machine Games prediction. But what about the other studios? Well, in my last video, I said I thought we'd probably see Obsidian at the show in some form or fashion. And I still feel in my gut that this is true. But I said I thought we'd see some Grounded news and maybe something on Avowed. Now, I'm feeling lucky, and this could come back to bite me, but I think we'll see more than that from them. Obsidian has a lot of teams working on different things. Some things we know about and some things that are completely unknown. But one rumor that has been popping up over the last couple of weeks is that we could possibly see an announcement trailer for The Outer Worlds 2. And this would be insane. This would be absolutely insane. Honestly, I think it could be too early to expect this. I mean, we just not too long ago got the final DLC for the original Outer Worlds. But I really think that Xbox has a few studios that are absolute workhorses, and Obsidian is among those few studios. So I think if any studio could do it, it's definitely Obsidian. And this would be absolutely amazing to see at the show, so fingers crossed on this one. Now let's talk about one of my favorite studios over at Xbox, Arcane Studios. You guys know I love Arcane. I've already got my pre-order in for Deathloop on PS5. I fucking love the Dishonored series, and I'm late to Prey 2018. But I'm finally playing it in Game Pass, and it is incredible. But there's this rumored vampire game codenamed Project Omen, and it's rumored to be shown at this E3 presentation. And I wasn't really big into vampire games growing up. I feel like it was a genre that I just barely missed because I was too young at the time to fully get into Legacy of Kain or Blood Omen. But when Arcane announces a game, they've got my attention no matter what the genre is. If they can somehow make a mix of Dishonored and Deathloop and throw vampires into the mix, then I'll be there for this day one. Now, I expect Playground to be at the show for Forza Horizon 5, but in my last video, I said I wasn't expecting Fable news. But I'm gonna be an optimist, and like I said earlier about my machine games theory, maybe this comes back to bite me, but there's nothing wrong with attempting to speak it into existence. I think we see Fable at this show. Now, do I think we see gameplay? No, not particularly. But maybe a dev diary and a deep dive into the things that we can expect from the game. Maybe a peek at some of the environments and weapons and magic throughout the world. But I've got my fingers crossed for this one. And this leads us into third party, which I think we can expect a lot from during this show. I mean, we already know we're going to see that Battlefield 2042 gameplay, but I'd expect we see much more from third party throughout the show. We also know about the rumors of this Project Typhoon game, which is all but confirmed to be made by Avalanche at this point. And then you've got this rumored Project Dragon RPG from IO Interactive we've all been hearing about recently. I'm definitely expecting some cool things from the third party at Xbox's E3. But that about wraps up what I'm expecting to see at this year's E3. You'll notice I left out quite a few studios, but that's only because I'm not expecting to see anything from these studios just yet. But I think we'll still have plenty to sink our teeth into this coming weekend from Xbox and Bethesda. But what do you guys think? Do you agree with my predictions? Do you think I'm an insane person? Leave a comment below and let me know what you're thinking. And leave a like if you liked the video. And please remember to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell because it really does help me out. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.